I'm Clinton Anderson, and I have a method for training horses. Getting horses to behave is simple. It's training people that's the real trick. Join me as I tackle some of the most challenging situations with problem horses and with problem owners. This next horse, his name is Chief. He's a 2-year-old rein futurity horse, and he's probably the greenest out of all the 2-year-olds as far as changing leads. He's had the same amount of riding that the others have had, about 6 months, and he's been changing leads for about a month, but he just hasn't progressed as quickly as the others, and that's not that unusual. You know, the horses are just like children. They don't all progress at the same stage, you know, or the same rate. He'll be good to film because he'll probably make more mistakes than the others. His biggest issue is he's a very sensitive type of horse in general. So if I put my leg on too aggressively, he'll have a tendency to want to speed up too much during the lead change. And sometimes it's not even about me putting my leg on too aggressive. He's just very sensitive like that. So he's got to learn to change leads, stay at the same speed. Change leads, stay at the same speed. Okay, so we'll go ahead and warm him up and then work on our lead changes. Whatever he kind of needs today, that's what we'll work on. But I'm kind of glad that he's not quite at the level of the others, because hopefully he'll make some mistakes and do some things that are a little bit different and we get to talk about them, okay? Especially with him, I practice a lot. See, like right there, see how I put that outside leg on and he kind of picked that head up just then and got a little stiff? I'm practicing lead changes at the trot with him. So if he's goofy at my leg at the trot, he's going to be worse at the canter. So I'm going to spend a few minutes here. Now I'm going to put my left leg on. Now that was better. See how he moved his hip over to my right, but he didn't raise up and he didn't speed up. That's what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to put my right leg on, push his hip. There, that was better. He moved his hip off to the left, but he didn't run forward, okay? There we go. You can practice a lot of your lead changes at the trot. Pick them up, move their shoulder out of the road, counter bend them, move it out of the road, a little bit of stiffness here. I'm gonna stay here till I get rid of it. Move that shoulder out of the road, put my left leg back, get the lead change, a little stiff, so I'm going to bump on his mouth there. Anytime he grabs a hold of that bridle, I'm going to shake him off it and use my legs at the same time. Sometimes with a really sensitive type of horse like him, I can spend just 20, 30 minutes just at the trot, jogging them around, moving their body parts, and I don't even lope them for that day. That's all my training is. It's picking them up, like right there, when I put that leg on, he sped up. I want to get rid of that as best I can at the trot, so when I go to do it at the lope, I've got a much better chance. See, remember, speed kills, so the faster you go, whatever resistance you've got is going to get worse. Okay? And that actually, what I just described, would be really good for this particular horse. I haven't done that in a couple of weeks with him, but it would be good just to get on him and just jog him around like this for 20, 30 minutes, just there. Now, I like that one a lot better. That time when I put my leg on, I didn't feel him grab a hold of the bridle. I didn't feel him speed up. I just tinker with him. It's kind of, doesn't look like you're doing a lot, but you're just tinkering around with him, getting those body parts to move without him overreacting. There, that was better. I put that leg on. I'd actually like it if he got a little bit dull. If he got a little dull to my leg, that would be good, because he wouldn't be so overreactive to it. See there, when I put it on, he sped up just a little bit. Move him off this way, two-track him a little bit. Any sort of suppling I can do to him to make him move off my leg and not get worried about the leg, the better. Right here, little stiffness right there. Notice I always kind of turn him loose. After I get him soft, that's kind of like my retreat, where I just turn him loose and let him jog on a loose rein. Pick him up, move him off over here. He's a little stiffer on this left leg, so I'm kind of rolling that spur on his belly. Right there, he kind of really got off it, so I stopped rolling. I just gently pressed the calf of my leg. So when I get that resistance, I'll initially start rolling that spur up their belly, and if that doesn't work, the rail, then I'll kick on them a little bit. Okay, ultimately, of course, I just want to press with the calf of my leg, and that's what gets the horse off. But, you know, that's not, we don't live in a perfect world, so I'm aiming for that, but reality is, especially in that learning stage, you're going to have to do more than just press them with the calf of your leg and have them respect it and get off it with the lightness you're looking for. There we go. Don't like him kind of gawking off there. He's kind of getting out of frame, so pick him back up and put him back in frame. He's a little bit of a looky-loo too, so I want him to dial into this circle pretty quickly. So when he picks that head up and starts looking around, I'm going to kind of reprimand him a little bit, especially at this stage of the game. Like, by 6 months of riding, you know, they're not a green colt so much anymore. You know what I mean? I need them to put their big boy pants on and get with the program, okay? So I don't mind if he just looks a little bit. When he picks that old neck up and just looks over there, I'm going to do something about it. Now, that was better. He thought about looking out here, but he hasn't done it just yet. So I don't mind if he looks a little bit. What I mind is when he just completely stops paying attention to me. Okay, I'm kind of bumping on his jaw here a little bit. He feels a little bit running through my hand just a little bit just then. There, turn loose. That's it. I got my outside leg on him, just resting that leg on his belly. I'm not actually pushing his hip up on this particular horse. I'm just trying to get him just to where when I rest that leg on his belly, nothing happens, meaning that he doesn't overreact to it. Okay, even though eventually I want him to move his hip to the inside, for his training right now, I just want to get step one accomplished. When I put that outside leg on your belly, just don't do anything except get soft. Don't run forward, don't speed up, just get soft. Now, I'm jerking on him here because he just, there. He didn't quite get off that rein the way I wanted. Turn loose of me. So, you might see me jerk on one, but you'll notice one thing about me. I always pick up real light first. I always ask him like he's perfect. And if he's not, I'm going to apply enough pressure to get him to react the way I need. And with him, I'm going to do a little bit of this, kind of like dare him to come out of the bridle, soften him up. Kind of dare him to come out of the bridle, come back to me. I want to provoke him a little bit to come out of that bridle. I need him to stay up in that frame collection. There we go. Righto, now he's starting to get dialed into the circle. He actually looks really pretty when he'll drop that neck down and just kind of engage the circle. Kind of like what he's doing here. So when he's doing good like this, I kind of leave him alone. Outside leg, inside rein. There. I want him to associate outside leg, get soft, look in. Get soft, look in. Okay, not great, but better. Let's go work on our cigars a little bit and see what he's up to today. Left leg's on, right leg's off. He's a little stiff here on this left rein. He's not really anticipating the lead change, just not as soft in my hands as I'd like to see him. When I change shapes, watch this, he's shaped to the left. Shape means bend. So when he's bent to the left, when I take him back to the right, I want him to turn, change shapes without picking his neck up. He kind of wants to brace that neck up when I turn, which is pretty typical when they're green, okay? So what I'll do is I'll bump on that rein, either rein. That was better. I don't want him to pick his neck up. I don't want the top of the bridle to come above the horn of the saddle when I change shapes. So he's not anticipating me right here. But what I'm not happy with is he's not as soft as I'd like him to be, but that's why we just got to practice more. So he's not really doing anything wrong, he's just telling me, Clinton, need more practice, need more practice. Need more cigars, need more cigars. That's it, get soft. See, when he keeps his head down like that, I try to kind of leave him alone as best I can and let that just be the reward. Come here. I don't want him looking. He's got to keep his arc to the inside. See, at 6 months of riding, I'm getting kind of picky on them now. They're not a little baby colt anymore. I expect them to take on more responsibility, okay, with their body shape. You know, I remind them, look to the inside, look to the inside, look to the inside, get soft. But now I'm kind of getting to a point where I'm going to reprimand them a lot more when they don't do it. You know, there's a teaching stage, you know, where you keep teaching them, but then it's got to turn into the I told you so, get it right stage. You know, especially if you want to keep advancing. If you want to stay in the beginning level of horsemanship the whole life, well, stay in the teaching stage. So right here in the counter canter, he's not anticipating. He's a little bit stiff on my hands to the inside, but certainly doesn't feel like he wants to change leads right now. Now, I like that. See, when I change shapes, he didn't pick that head up. He stayed nice and relaxed through his neck and jaw. I want the horse to stay soft through their jaw, their mouth, their poll, and their withers. They're the 3 points that a horse has got to get soft. Their jaw, which is their mouth, their poll between their ears, and their neck withers where it joins right here. But you've got to get all 3 hinges kind of broke loose. There. Change shapes. Now I'm just going to go back and work on my circle again. Ultimately, I want the reins loose like that, and he maintains his own shape. Come here. By himself. Look to the inside. Look to the inside. Look to the inside. That's better. I want to always see that inside eye. So now I'm going to work on my cigars again, pick him up. So he feels like he's good enough now to ask for a lead change. I'm pushing him with my left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. There, change. He got a little stiff, gets soft, he feels soft now, drop to a trot. So when I first put my other leg on, he didn't change straight away. He sped up a little bit. I held that leg there, pressed. He changed. I kept a hold of his face until he lopes soft and collected. And then when he did, as a reward, I drop him down to the trot. Right, let's go ahead and see what he's like to the left. Always start out with the circle first and then kind of move into your lead change drills. As he starts progressing, all these 2-year-olds, even though I'm riding him in a snaffle, I start practicing like I'm riding him one-handed. Okay? He feels pretty good there. I always have a tendency to start out their bad direction first because I feel like they've got the most energy, okay, when they're, you know, when you first get on them. So I use the most energy I have on the side that needs the most help. A lot of people want to avoid working on the bad side. That was all right there. He just dropped to a trot, no big deal. Just lost a little bit of cadence. I don't like when I change shapes there. He kind of grabbed a hold of that bridle just then. And that's what they do in the beginning. You can come out and do nothing but cigars for 2 or 3 days straight. That's all you work on. And it would help him. It would be good for him to have some of that. Just work on the cigar, go back. Now, I like that time when I changed shapes, he was nice and relaxed. I'm gonna go ahead and counter-canter him. My right leg's on, left leg's off. You know, I have more shape to him when I'm counter-cantering than what I normally would in the circle because I kind of over-exaggerate that bend, the suppleness factor. So he's counter-cantering pretty nice here. He's nice and relaxed. So I'm going to go ahead and change him out of a counter-canter. He's feeling good. Give me the green light. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hasn't changed a lot behind. There he did. He was bad in the face. Wait till he got soft. Now I had to drop him down. So when I changed leads, his initial reaction was to speed up. His initial reaction, then he changed up front, which means he got the correct lead with his front legs, but drug a lead behind. I just tried to stay there. Don't release the pressure when that happens because I'll be rewarding him for running off. I didn't necessarily add a lot of pressure either. I just kind of waited for him to find the answer. As soon as he got the correct lead, I waited till he came back to my hands and he relaxed, and now I dropped into a trot. So even though that was kind of ugly what happened, that's kind of normal to some degree with some horses. I didn't want to release the pressure when he was being bad, but I didn't exactly want to add a lot of pressure either, because he was already worried about my leg and not understanding. So he's not necessarily doing that because he's a bad horse. He's just confused. He's a 2-year-old, and I need to spend some more time teaching him what to do. Okay? Press him here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good boy. That was better. Now, he still got the correct lead up front initially. Then he changed leads behind, but he didn't run off with his head up. So that tells me that the correction I made was good because he got a little better, didn't he? Wasn't perfect, but got a little better. The biggest thing you got to do in a lead change is fix the crap that's going wrong, but don't scare them in the process. Because if you scare them in the process, they want to quit changing leads. And it just ends up being a big mess for them. So we'll change him this way. Got my left leg on. He's giving me the green light. He's in my hands. He's soft. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right there, he kind of dropped to a trot. He got kind of lazy on me. I'm going to turn him around to the right because I was on the right lead. So right then, I let him get a little bit too slow leading up to a lead change. So I'm going to speed him up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. He got the correct lead up front. Hold on to him. There. He tried to spit the bridle out. And I kept using that leg on him, that spur, until he picked up his hind lead. And then when he got soft, let him drop down. So that's kind of what happened the first time. So even if he gets his head up on me, as long as I don't release the reins, he's not winning. He only wins if I turn loose of the reins. Okay? That's when he wins. I'm gonna pick him up. I'm gonna move his shoulder over more. See if this helps him a little here. Move his shoulder over, 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 over. There, good boy. So that time that made it easier for him. A little stiff here. Don't push on my hands, please. So that time, by moving his shoulder over a lot more, it helped him pick up that hind lead. So whenever I've got one that's dragging a hind lead, they're directly telling me that I need to do more of moving their shoulders over, more exaggerated. Okay? Move that shoulder more. Okay? So watch, I'm gonna reverse arc him or counter canter him, counter bend him, move him over, 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 over. Change. Wait till he gets soft, wait till he gets soft. There. So that's what he needs a lot of now, is I need to take it one step further and move his shoulder to help him understand. He's not trying to be bad. He's a 2-year-old that doesn't understand, so there's no point getting mad at him. Just fix him. So I'm going to move his shoulder, exaggerate the lead change a lot more for him. Watch this. Okay? I'm going to move him over, over. Move the shoulder, move the shoulder, move the shoulder, move the shoulder, move the shoulder. Change. Wait till he gets soft. Break him down. So every lead change, he's got a little bit more relaxed. Not perfect, but a little more relaxed. He's got no need to get scared of me because I'm not hurting him, but I'm certainly not letting him, you know, just get away with murder, but I'm fixing him without scaring him. Okay, I'm gonna push him over, over, over. Clearing the shoulder, clearing the shoulder, clearing the shoulder. There. Good boy. Now he's thinking lead change, slow down, which is the opposite of put your leg on and piss off, because that's kind of what he wanted to do initially, wasn't it? Is put my leg on and take off. Okay? Counter canter him. Let's see what he does out of the counter canter. Not too bad. Not too bad. Every time I change leads, always drop him down to a trot. Make this be a reward right now. This is his relaxation to get soft and relax. 3 circles. You can do more than 3, but minimum 3. So we'll do one more lead change and then we'll be done. I don't know how many we changed, but a few. But he's got a little better each time, okay? So we're making improvements on it. Good boy. Push him off. I'm gonna refine it, see what he does. Push him off. So right there, he didn't change leads, he changed up front, not behind. So, I tried to refine it a little bit, not exaggerate so much, and he told me, Clinton, I'm not ready for that, so I'm gonna go and really reinforce it. Push him over, 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 over. See, I got my hands across his neck a little bit? Over, over, over. Push him over, 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 over. There. Good boy. Okay, so that was really good, that whole training session, because there's a bit of ugly crap, some good crap, and some crap in between, okay? So we got to see a little variety of what's going on. So, moving forward with this horse, what he needs is this. He's not a problem child, he's just a child that needs a little more help here. I'm gonna come back now and spend a session or two just literally jogging him around. Not even loping, just moving his body parts, moving his hip, moving his shoulder, moving his ribs, getting him soft, just quieting this down at the jog for probably 2 sessions. I'm gonna spend another couple of sessions after that setting him up for a lead change, but not changing leads. And doing the cigars, doing the counter canter, and also the other exercise where I don't really have it named, but I really exaggerate pushing him off, like changing him from a counter bend, so to speak, where I'm pushing him off, because what that does, watch, imagine we're at the lope and the left lead. He's on the left lead here. I'm really pushing him over, pushing that shoulder over, because watch, there's my lead change. When I change legs, watch, by clearing his shoulder, it makes it easy for the hindquarters to come up there for the change. I'll do it, imagine he's on the right lead, we'll open a circle. I pick him up, I move him over, move him over, move him over. I'm clearing this side, I'm getting all this crap out of the road. Now watch this, put my right leg back, there's my lead change right there. So I'll spend a couple of days setting him up for lead changes, but not changing leads. So that whole process will take 4 to 5 days of prep work. Then I'm gonna come back to changing leads again. And I'll bet that his lead changes actually get a lot better. So even though I changed quite a few leads today in front of you, I am actually not gonna change leads on this horse for the next 4 or 5 days. But I am gonna work a lot on prep work, okay? Because he's shown me where his holes are. We got him better today than what he was when he started, but he's telling me, Clinton, come back please and work on some more of the parts that go into a lead change. I'm a little bit frightened of your leg. I'm a little bit unsure what to do. I'm kind of confused. Times I'm a bit of a jackass too. So with all that combined, would you come back please and just kind of give me some confidence building stuff? No worries, Chief. We'll work on this for 4 or 5 days, buddy, and we'll be back in the lead changes again. Okay. So that's kind of how I'd handle that situation and go from there. But I'm really glad that he messed up, because hopefully you guys got to see some things that I would do to correct them. So the next horse, mate, his name is Chip. He's a 2-year-old working cow horse. I've got him for the futurities for next year. Again, same amount of riding as the others, about 6 months. Chip has not been really a problem. He's a very sensitive type of horse in general. So, you know, you can't put a lot of pressure on him, otherwise he'll overreact. But I don't mind that. I would rather have horses that are more sensitive, that I can be a little gentler with, than the kind of deadheads that you have to thump on a little bit to get him to take you seriously. So we'll just kind of put him through the paces and see what he has to offer us today, and we'll kind of go from there, okay? I've spent a lot of time with this particular horse just kind of bumping those legs against his side, making sure that he doesn't overreact. He's relatively sensitive in the belly, so if anything, he's been a little overreactive, and so I kind of want him to get just a smidgen duller, okay? I don't mind if I have to kick on him a little bit to to get him to move, because that means he's kind of dulling up to my hands and well, not so much my hands I don't want him dulling up to, more my legs. I find if you just come out and jog them around and just kind of piddle around with them, they just get really quiet and relaxed. They realize when you get on them, but you're not going to get after them a hell of a lot in the beginning, or start running them or doing a lot of fast stuff. Just the first 5-10 minutes of a ride is all about moving their body parts, getting them to be soft. Like right here, he didn't quite move off that the way I wanted, so I dropped him back to a walk and moved that hip over. I like that rein being across their neck. See, that's always kind of getting them used to that neck rein. When I lay this rein across this side, I change hands and I want him to feel that rein across his neck. And whenever I change directions, I always change hands so that that rein drags across his neck. I always want the horse looking the way they're going. Unless they're reverse arcing or, you know, counter bending, they always should look the way. So a little bit of stiffness here on this right leg, pushing that hip to the left. I can kind of hear him grunting a little bit. You don't want to move it off. See a little resistance right there. There we go. So I found a little oh-no spot there, but I'm going to work on now. See, the horse will tell you where his oh-no spot is. So his right now is he doesn't want to move that hip to the left. So I'm going to hold my inside hand up, right hand down. He's kind of pushing there. Right then, as soon as he moved off it, I took my leg off. So let's check his hip out the other way. No, it's pretty good there. He's moving off that leg. So again, let the horse tell you where their oh-no spots are, where he's stiff. So I'm putting my right leg on now, a little stiffness there. Now I'm going to bump him with my left leg and take it into a counter bend. He's kind of pushing into that. There. Any resistance you find at the jog will be magnified at the lope and even more at the canter. You know, at the gallop, sorry. There, that's a little better. Check that for that softness. When he's keeping his head down, he's holding his shape, as a good rule of thumb, I'm going to leave him alone as much as I can to let that be comfortable for him. Let him realize, you know, horses dream about us not pulling on them. So I want to show him I won't pull on you if you adapt that shape. You stay framed up. You stay soft in the bridle, you look to the inside. So that's what I'm checking here, just a little bit of this softness here. So I feel a little stiffness here. Taking his nose right and left. So I'm going to go work on this a little bit here. Kind of feels really stiff on my leg right now. So I'm going to go and drop him back to a trot. Counter bend him a little bit here. Move, exaggerate that. If you don't like moving off that leg, try this. Now go back to the lope again. Sometimes if I feel like I can't get what I want to get done at that gait, drop them down slower. Like right there, I felt like he was being stiff again. So I'm going to drop him back down to the trot. Fix this softness here using my right leg. There, when he gets soft, I'll pick up the lope again. So, right here, he's just being a bit of a jackass today, and he's not wanting to move off that leg, this right leg. So I'm gonna abort the canter for just a little bit and say, hey, things could be quite a bit more difficult if you choose. So if you don't want to move off my leg, I'm gonna make this really uncomfortable and make sure you understand that I can make you move off at a hell of a lot more than what I'm asking you. So if you don't like this, try this. That way when I go back to the lope, it seems relatively easy. Okay, so we'll kind of forgive and forget. Start again. He's being real sticky here. I'm just going to go and do some cigars. So he's on the left lead. He's really pushing into this right leg here. So now I'm going to turn. He's kind of messing around, pulling on me here. So I'm going to go spin him around, kind of reprimand him a little bit, get him softened up in the face. Pick up the lope. He feels to me like he's anticipating that lead change a lot. He's thinking at any second, I'm gonna go right. So I'm gonna push him off with my right leg, push him off, push him off. When I kind of get to the end here, you see, he thinks I'm gonna go right now. So I fool him and go left, okay? That's the whole point of doing the cigars, is that it's to get the horse cleared out through the side you're about to change leads, but I want him thinking left, left. Turn. That's a little better. Feel like he's staying in my hands now. He's not pulling on me, a little bit right there. And I've kind of got my fingers open on the reins. You know, they're being pretty soft. I'm trying to reward them by being as light as I can with my hands. Okay, so now I'm going to go into a counter canter. Still got my right leg on, left leg off, right leg on. I want him to hold that shape, keep his head down, onto my hands, stay light, and don't push on me. So now I'm just going to go ahead and turn him back this way. All right, go back and counter canter him again. Right leg on, left leg off. I'm just softening up this side of his body, which will be where I want him to change into from the left lead to the right, okay? But right now, I'm not interested in changing him at all until I get rid of some of this resistance. He's telling me, Clinton, I got lead change on my brain and I got stiffness on my brain. So he's telling me to go back and do more preparation. So now I'm gonna go back into some cigars again. Push him off, push him off, push him off. Turn the corner. Push him off. That's better. Now he feels like he's waiting more. So now I might go back to what I was originally doing when I first got on him, but he was a little bit argumentative about it, about just kind of moving that neck from side to side, getting him to hinge at the shoulders, basically get that neck to go from side to side without a lot of stiffness through his body. There we go. That actually feels pretty good now. So I'm going to let him just have a little friendly time right now. Righto. If he's set up good here, I'll go ahead and change. So he's on the left lead. His nose is tipped to the right. My right leg's on just behind the girth. I'm pressing with my right leg. When I go to change, I change legs. Kiss a couple of times, or cluck a couple of times. Now he's soft, he's changed. Now I drop him down to a trot, jog a couple circles. Now, you know, I've got one hand on the reins here, but he's being pretty soft. But if he was stiff, you know, and in the beginning I had both hands on the reins, bump him in the belly, make him get soft. So he didn't start out real good, but he came around relatively quickly. Let's see what he's like this way. I'm not checking on him for headset. I'm checking his mouth. When I pick up like that, I'm checking for softness. I'm checking to see if he's still listening to me, whether he'll let me take control of his body and face. You got to go through their mouth to get back to their feet. Try some cigars this way. He's on the right lead, his nose is tipped to the left leg's on. I'm pushing him over. Turn the corner. He for sure felt like he was going to change leads just then. Secret is, when they're thinking about changing leads, you don't change leads. When they're not thinking about changing leads, that's when you change leads. It's pretty simple, really. Left leg on right now, right leg off. Left hand's up a little bit, right hand's down, and then turn the corner. Use that outside rein to keep his shoulders moving around. Feels pretty good here. So I'll go ahead and counter him and see how he feels like that. Left leg on, right leg off. Feels pretty good here. He doesn't feel like he's pushing too much or anticipating. I might retreat and just turn back this way. Feel him a little bit. The whole secret is staying ahead of him. Right, if he feels good, I'm going to go ahead and change. I've got my left leg on. He's on the right lead. When I count to 4, on number 4, when I change legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. He's trying to stop. He's trying to slow down. He's trying to slow down. Now I let him slow down. So he's caught on to the habit of changing leads and dropping to a trot, which is a great habit for him to get, okay? What I need him to do now is keep loping more strides after the change of lead. So he's thinking, change leads, keep going. I love it when I have to push him forward as opposed to pull on him and slow him down. Remember the last horse we had, Chief? In the beginning, he was changing leads and kind of half pissing off, wasn't he? I'd put my leg on and he'd think speed up and run off. That's the opposite of what Chip's doing at this point. So let's work on a few lead changes. Push him, push him, push him, push him, push him, push him. Change. Good boy, Chip. So Chip had a little bit of a bug up his ass when I first got on him, didn't he? But now he's kind of coming around. Good boy. I love that outside rein across his neck. I want him to feel it. And as soon as I lose that shape, I'll bump upward with that inside rein. Now, even when they're changing good, it never hurts to over-exaggerate it. Push him over, push him over, push him over, push him over, push him over. Change. Just like we did Chip. It doesn't hurt to over-exaggerate that. Okay, I'll do it again. Let me trot 3 circles. In the last couple of years since I've experimented with changing leads and then trotting 3 circles, I've just had my horses just get so much better at changing leads and relaxing, changing leads and relaxing. It just seems to take all that worry out of them. And it gets them so much more confident about changing leads. Okay? So I'm going to pick him up. I'm going to push his shoulders deep, deep. Push him over, over, over. Right leg, right leg, right leg, right leg, left leg. Now, he just kind of got a little confused on that. I'm not going to get real aggressive with him here. I'm just going to say, hey, how about we just set that up again? You might have screwed it up. I might have screwed it up. Let's just start that again. Pick him up, clear the shoulder, push him over, 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 push him over, 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 over. Change. Good boy. Now I might go back and do a few cigars, but don't change him. Shape to the left, he's on the right lead. Now if I wanted to change him here, you could just change. Now there he kind of picked up wrong lead. Behind, he was a little late, meaning he changed up front, but not behind. So I waited till he got the hind lead, kept loping him till he got soft, and then dropped to a trot. But right now, you can tell lead changes on his brain again too much. So he said, okay, Clinton, I know we're going to change. Now I got to take it off his brain and say, hey, set up, set up, set up, set up, set up. By the way, turn the opposite way. Because right now I can tell he's thinking, change leads any second now. Come on, Clinton, let's change, let's change, let's change. I'm thinking, push him over, push him over, push him over. And right when he's not expecting it, we say, no, we're not going to lead change. I was just tricking you. Push him over, push him over, push him over, push him over. We're going to change, aren't we? We're going to change. No, I'm just messing with you. I just thought I'd fake it. Okay? That's what it's about. Am I going to change? Am I going to change? Am I going to change? Make him wait, make him wait, make him wait. You know what? I was just messing with you. Okay? That's the whole secret, is make him guess. See, right then, he had no idea I was going to change leads. Now, I didn't drop him down to a trot, and I'll kind of show you where we're going. Once the horse gets really solid at changing leads and looking for that rest, and they get soft, then I don't worry about dropping them down, okay? Nowhere near as much, put it that way. Change, change, change. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Don't change. Pick him up, push him off, push him off. Left leg on, right leg off. When he's relaxed, change. He's thinking lead change too much. Push him off, push him off, push him off, push him off. Now I can feel he thinks he's going to go right. So I'm going to trick him now and just lope around here. When he's nice and relaxed, change. So he sped up there just a little bit. That's all right. So, you know, he's doing just fine. I probably did a lot more lead changes, you know, because you guys are here and the camera's here than what I typically would have done at home today. You know, he didn't start out real good, but he got better, and I would have just quit on that. It's time for him to get some air now, and then I could work on something else, you know, whether it's working cow horse, we'd get a cow out now and walk a cow, or work on some reining maneuvers, just let him air up for 10, 15 minutes, and we're good to go. Overall, I thought Chip did really good.
Miss Lucky Starlight, bred by James Eakin, owned by Lynn Thomas, going to be shown by Clinton Anderson, Stephenville, Texas. Thank you, and that is at number 203. Score for He's the Cat's Meow, Clinton Anderson, 224. 224, giving him a 424.
This is a 2-year-old gelding. He's a working cow horse for the futurity for the next year. His name's Rango, and he's had the exact same riding as the other 2-year-olds we've been showing you so far. The same amount of lead change, you know, training, 3 to 4 weeks of it. He's a good-minded horse overall. No real drama with him. He's not the most talented horse in the world, but he tries real hard, and overall he's got a pretty good attitude. His worst feature is he likes to get a little lazy on my leg, where he won't really move off my leg the way that I want him to. So the main exercise that I work on him is, two tracking stage 1. I do a lot of this with him, just bending his head and moving that whole body and rib cage off my leg. Okay, so this is probably the main warm-up exercise I do with him. I like 2 tracking stage 1 because it gets that rib cage nice and soft. He's a little stiff right here. It gets that nose down towards where my foot would be, okay? So I do a lot of the walk and the jog, just jogging him around, moving him off this. There we go. And just kind of let him jog forward and then pick him up and move him across the other way. You can kind of tell he's a little jerky here, where he'll run off it real good, and then he'll kind of get a little lazy and get sticky. That's just kind of his greenness, where that's why I need to keep working with him on it. I might go the same way 2 or 3 times. He tries to lead with his shoulder more than what I'd like right there. I want that hip to catch up as well. That's the whole point of doing this, is making that hip and that shoulder. See here, a little stiff here? Come here. Come here. There, get off it. There. When he gets soft, that's when I turn him loose. So a little resistance there, he kind of jumped up in the air. Now this is better. This is more what I'm looking for here. A lot more softness, he's nice and relaxed. See, what he's real good about this, moving his shoulders off, okay, like this. What I want him better at is moving his hip and his shoulders off together at the same time, not just his shoulder. He almost wants to avoid moving his ribs and hip by just kind of diving his shoulder off there. And obviously you can see see there how he went to dive that shoulder off? He's doing it now. There, he caught his hip up, okay? So I'll spend some time just making sure. Now, if I have to, I'll drop him back to a walk. Resistance, 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 ride through it. There, when he gets soft, turn loose. Let him think about that. There we go. There, that's what I want right there. No resistance in his face. He moved his hip across as well as his shoulder. And see there, he kind of thought about kicking at that leg. That's that resistance that we need to get rid of there. Because this will show up in the lead change. Whatever resistance you have, at the walk and trot, absolutely gets worse. Okay, see here? Also with him, it's good for him to move that hip out of the road too. Okay, especially on that left side. Make that hip disengage and step around there. There, that's a little better. And sometimes I'll take it from that straight into the 2-track. Especially with a horse that wants to lag their hindquarters, that's a neat little exercise. Disengage their hip, pivot on their front end, move their back end, and then take that straight into this. While their hip's already moving, take it straight into a 2-track. So yield their hip, and then move your leg a little bit further forward, change your hands a little bit, move them off, take it straight into that. Yield the hip, leg forward a little bit more, straight off into that. There we go. So that's better than what we started. It's not perfect, but my job every day is just to chip away at it. And he has some days he's better than others. Today he was probably a little pushier than what he typically is. Okay, but that's all right. I'd rather show you that on camera and show you how I fix it than hide it and, you know, edit all this crap out. This is the stuff that people need to see. There we go. Right, let's go lope him around. He's a good loping horse, this horse. He's quiet, he's pretty good in the face, okay? He lopes good up underneath himself. I'm just checking his shape to the inside. I want to make sure when I pick up on that inside rein, they'll soften and bend that neck and rib cage. They don't speed up, they just get soft. It's kind of like my little bit of check the oil. Just pick up, check that softness. Pick up, check that softness. When I turn him loose, I don't want him to build speed or go anywhere. So out of all of the horses, he's probably the one that gives me the biggest resistance in the cigar exercise. So I find myself doing a lot more cigars on him and not changing leads. You know, going across the pen, pushing him off, got my left leg on. Now I'm going to turn right. And you can do this all over the arena, like I turned more than I should have, and I'll push him off over here. Push him off, bump on his jaw if he gets a little stiff. Instead of changing leads, turn back this way. So with him, I make a little bit of a variation of the cigar exercise, and I pretty much do this exercise all over the arena. Like watch, I'm going to turn here. I'm going to turn more than I normally would and do it across over this corner. So I kind of keep him guessing where I'm going to do this exercise, because he has a tendency to, once I change him out of this, he wants to go back and do nothing but a lead change out of a cigar exercise. So he's actually being pretty good today. Not a lot of anticipation here. Okay, a little stiffness there. That wasn't really anticipating the lead change, but just stiff. So what I'm going to do is now I just go lope from a counter canter and change him out of a counter canter. Because he's a lot of the time anticipates a lead change, like right there, he's just being a dick. So let me just turn him around here and just kick his ass a little bit. Right, we'll pretend that never happened and go on. That's just two-year-old crap right there. That's just him being a little silly. So I'll kind of give him a little natural encouragement and then let's go back to our job. So I want to practice counter cantering here. Now I'm going to go back to my circle. So with him, I probably do more lead changes out of a counter canter like this than what I do out of the cigar. So each horse is a little bit different. I got my left calf on his leg, belly, my right leg's off, okay? And especially when he feels soft and he's nice and relaxed, that's when you just go lope a circle the opposite way. And you don't have to do it in the middle like I did it here in the corner. Pick him up again. There we go. And do it again. Just keep practicing going from that counter canter to the correct lead. Now he feels like he's getting a little more dialed in, feels a little more relaxed now. That's it. Whenever they feel nice and quiet and relaxed, that's when you retreat and take them back on the correct lead. And then go back to it again. Now I'm going to mix it up again, where I'm going to go back to the cigar exercise. So he's never quite sure what I'm about to do. Go back to counter-cantering again. So now that he's finally relaxed, I could go ahead and change leads on him. Okay, a little bit pushy right there, but I could change leads, but honestly, this would be a good day today with him to not change leads at all. Just practice all the setting up and getting him in position, getting him light, but don't change. Okay? I want to reinforce that there are a lot of times when I'll come out and practice all the parts to a lead change, but don't change leads. And that's what he kind of feels like to me he needs. He feels like the lead change is a little bit too much on his mind for my liking. So I need to spend a couple of days just fiddling around with what I've been doing out here. Now I'm going to go back to the regular circle and kind of let this be a reward for him. Just kind of say, hey, chill out, take a rest, no big deal. Sometimes the best way to fix a lead change is not try to change leads. Work on the parts that go into the lead change. Now, at some point you've got to work on a lead change, of course, and change leads, but with a horse like this, he knows how to change leads, just like the other 2-year-olds, but it's on his mind too much. Okay? So what I'm going to do is do everything about setting him up for the lead change, but don't actually change leads. Now I like that there, nice and relaxed. He's not pushing on my leg, he's not pulling on my hands, you can see some slack in the reins. This would be a great opportunity to circle back this way and actually think about quitting him here. Okay? So even though I didn't actually change leads on him, I would say that today was so far a successful training session with lead changing, because I got rid of some resistance in his body and in his face. I got rid of the anticipation of him thinking about doing a lead change, and I'd let him air up now, and then I'd go work on the other lead for a while, okay? So this is why we're using a variety of horses, because each horse is going to be just slightly different. I did everything but change leads, and usually you find when you do that for a few days and just get lead changing off their brain, when you do change leads, they nail it really well. So there's it's kind of hard to explain. You have to work on the lead change to get them good at changing leads, of course, but there are a lot of times when what's more important than lead change is all the preparation work into it, and the preparation work of keeping from anticipating that's more important. So I actually, in my opinion, he changed leads really well today because I didn't change leads. I did everything but change leads. And he probably needs 2 to 3 days of what I did today, and then I could go back and start changing leads on him again. And maybe a week or two later, I'd have to come back and do all this again, okay? So it's kind of like a balance thing. You know, you work on lead changes, come back, work on the setup. Come back, work on lead changes, work on the setup. It's a little bit of a seesaw situation. So let's let him get some air and we'll go the other way. Okay, so we've let Rango air up a little bit here, and we'll go ahead and work on his left lead and just see kind of what he's up to. Remember, new side, new brain, new horse. So just, even though he was a little bit of a turd on the other side, doesn't mean, you know, he's going to be bad on this side. So just always remember that. Each horse is a separate horse. Check his softness to the inside. He feels pretty good there, I can already tell. So let me go work on his cigar exercise. Right leg on, left leg off. turn the corner. And sometimes when they get stiff here, when I turn that corner, I'll go ahead and turn them around and then go pick up that lead again. If I think when I turn the corner, if I feel like they grab that bridle, that wasn't really his fault just then. He kind of overreacted a little bit when I put that leg on. He tried to move off it a little too much. But when I turn that corner, if they grab that bridle or act a little stiff there, I'll go ahead and shut them down and turn them around and get them soft. That's it. Just pick him up, move him off that leg. Now I'm going to go into a counter canter. And I'll counter canter with their shape the opposite way too. If they're on the left lead, I'll make them look left. But that's more of an advanced exercise. I'll show you that on some other horses. Get him soft. My right leg is just gently pressing against his belly, you know, right behind that front cinch, and my left leg is off. He feels nice and relaxed here. He doesn't feel like he's trying to change leads. Right there, he was just a little bit pushy, so I took him back the opposite way. I felt him kind of leaning right just then, so that'd be a perfect time to lope left. Now I'm going to pick him up and go do it again. But see, now I'll counter canter him on the opposite end of the arena. I just truly mix all this crap up. I want that horse never quite knowing what he's going to do next. It's what I call confused loping. When your horse is never quite sure what you're about to do, they always listen a lot better. But when they know exactly what you're up to, especially those studs, they start trying to get one step ahead of you all the time. Okay? It's nice and relaxed, relax, relax, relax. Here's the time to retreat. So far, a completely different horse on this side, okay? This side is nice and soft. He's not anticipating. So if I want to go change leads on this right side, I'd be happy to do that today. Even over left side, I didn't change any leads on that side. This side, I feel like I could. So I'm going to actually go ahead and change him out of a counter canter. So I've got my right leg on. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. He's sped up just a smidgen. Now he's soft. Now I drop down to a trot. Let him trot 3 circles, okay? So even though I said I'm not going to change leads, that was on that brain. This is a separate one. Right-hand side, new brain, new horse. And he changed really nice just then overall, you know, especially for his age. He's a 2-year-old with 6 months worth of riding. I'd be done. Like, he's done now on the whole lead change subject today. So left side, yeah, needed some work, no doubt about it. But that's what my job is, to train him. Right side, he pretty much put up the surrender flag right from the beginning and said, hey, Clinton, I don't want to be bad, I'm good. So the righty's a lot better than lefty, that's all right, I'll leave him up. So if I would not have changed leads on either side, wouldn't have been a problem. The fact that I didn't this side and did this side, nothing wrong with that at all. But remember, if the preparation, if the lead up to the lead change sucks, don't change leads. Okay? You have to have them soft, collected, and listening to you leading up to the lead change. If they give you the green light on the setup, go ahead and change leads. That's why I did it on this side, because everything I did on the right side of his body said, Clinton, I'm ready to change leads. I'm good. I'm good, Clinton. You can change leads. I'm ready. I'm listening to you. Okay, Rango, I'm going to change leads, big fella. And we did. Okay, so if I would have tried to change leads on the left and when all the setup was not good and he was messing around and not listening, the lead change has no hope of working. So now what I'd like to do, mate, is show you more of the advanced stages of changing leads. This is Pluto again. If you remember him from a 2-year-old that we walked with him and you know, showed you different exercises I was doing with him, moving his body parts, etc. Well, this is him a little over a year later now, okay? It's end of October of his 3-year-old year. And I would say that he's about 2 more months off me feeling like I've really got this horse broke to death. And the lead change, he can change leads anywhere in the arena on a big drape loose rein, you know, without setting him up, without helping him. If I put my leg on and kiss, you know, he'll change leads on the mark every single time. He's doing quite well overall, but just needs another couple more months. But I'll show you a lot of the different drills that I'll work on with a little more older advanced horse. You know, he's the kind of horse now, to really start perfecting it now, I'm going to work on changing leads every day with him, of course. I'll at least change 2 or 3 leads, 2 to 4 leads every day, but at least once a week, let's just say that, probably twice a week, I'll have a couple of loping sessions where I will literally change leads 30, 40 times. And today's going to be one of those sessions, okay? I'll change leads 30, 40 times until I want changing leads for my horses to just be like an old day at work. You know what I mean? It's nothing new. It's easy for them. They're confident. They can pretty much do it in their sleep, okay? So let me just go ahead and jog him around here a little bit and warm him up. You'll notice that I've got him in a bridle here, one-handed bridle and a shank bit, because when I show him at the Raynham Futurities, I've got to be able to show him one-handed, okay? So I'm just going to warm him up a little bit here before I work on that lead change situation, okay? Working on getting him to change leads really consistently. I'm going to pick him up now, move his hip over to my left, got my right spur on, push that hip over. I practice a lot one-handed. See, like, as he's going around, you'll notice that he has some bend to the left and he's arced around the circle. Well, he's got to go from this arc to an arc to the right with just me putting my outside leg on. So watch, it'll be my left leg now. So I'm going to pick up and press and see that hip come over? Well, he's got to be able to do that at the lope. I want my horses so broke that, see, typically, let's say I'm loping a right circle right now, okay? He's got a lot of bend. Let me see if I can just hold that bend a little bit there. If I'm loping a circle to the right, see how his whole shoulder is over here to my left, his nose is to my right, his hips to my right. Well, I like that kind of shape in a circle. But this shape on the right lead, if I was going to go change now to the left lead, this is a terrible shape for him to be in. His shoulder's over there, which means his hip is what? Over there. Remember, horses do the opposite. If their shoulder leans one way, their hip's the opposite. So he's got to get from this position to this position here. Let me help him a little bit here. He's got to get from that position to this position, okay, in one stride, basically. Now, that's the end result, where he could arc to the right. Where typically, when they're greener, you know, you're going to come round on the circle when they're not quite as broke as you need them to be, and I'm going to do a left lead change now. I'm going to pick him up, move his shoulder over a little bit, there, and now, when I put that outside leg on, I got that lead change. So basically, I take some of that arc out of his body. And obviously, you do this as you canter, and I'm trying to slow it down to talk to you. So watch, he's coming around. I pick him up, move his shoulder over a little bit. There it goes. Put my other leg on, and there's my lead change. But ultimately, I want to be able to not have to set him up. I want my horses so broke, but as I'm coming around the circle, all I have to do is kiss, put my leg back on, and push his hip up the other way. So obviously he's still struggling a little bit with that one-handed at the jog. So I've got to practice this. So I'll start working on this quite a bit more now. He understands all the basics. So watch, I'm going to pick up, press, and that hip comes over. So I'm trying to get out of having to set him up for the lead change. What do I mean by set him up? Pick him up, straighten his body out, okay? So I'm going to pick up, push that leg, there. I might counterbend him a little bit here. I felt a little stiffness here. There, wait till he gets soft. So I kind of do a lot of that jogging him around, just changing from one shape, put my leg on, there, that was better, to the other shape, to the other shape, to the other shape. Little heavy on my leg there, okay? So that's how you get a horse to be really good in that lead change is when you can have the reins draped down like that, big old drape in the reins, and just kiss, and he picks that, he changes leads. Put your leg on, kiss, he changes leads. Now I'm exaggerating his hip just in front of the camera here, but that's the kind of control you need at the lope, okay? Righto, let's get started here. So, I'm initially gonna start out kind of, you know, one-handed as best I can, and when I need to help him with two hands, I will. So I'll kind of do this guiding exercise where I'll literally guide the horse all over the arena. So I can kind of work on my guiding at the same time. And then go straight, lots of straight lines, and then turns. Pick up, make sure he's soft, and guide. He feels a little bit lazy there, like he's not getting off that rein, so I kind of jerked it across his neck a little bit and reminded him to get off it. Now I'll go straight. Now I just tested to see what he did just then. I didn't set him up. I just put my leg on, my left leg on, I kissed to him, which is his cue to change leads, okay? And he changed not too bad, came up out of the bridle a little bit. I don't want him to come up and out of that bridle as he changes leads. I want him to stay in frame, elevate his shoulders. So I'll go straight here. I do a lot of counter-cantering with him now, arc the direction he's on that lead. So notice he's looking right, and he's on the right lead, which is different to how we've done it a lot in the past, is he's always been looking arc the way he's going. There we go. So a lot of the time now, I'll change leads and I'll head him off the other direction, like the opposite way. So he went change to the left lead, I circle right, wait till he's soft, turn loose. Pick up. So as he's getting up broker in his 3-year-old year, I try to do more one-handed where I can. Now right then, I did it out of a circle, because when I show him, he's got to change on a circle, you know, from one circle to the other. So I can't just always practice my lead changes in a straight line. So I just guide him all over the place to where the horse really has no idea where I'm about to go, what I'm going to do. It's, you know, kind of what I call confused loping. So if I want to get a little more softness out of him, I'll usually hold that inside rein up in the air, my outside one down, and then change it and bridle him up in that turn, in that lead change. I want to be able to put him on a big loose rein. Now right there, I kind of jerked on him then because he kind of came up out of that frame. There again. So now that I've warmed him up a little bit, I need to turn more responsibility over to him. So he's on a loose rein. That was better, he stayed in frame. Stay in frame. So I'll kind of pitch him away, and if he raises up out of the bridle, I'll go ahead and bump him down with my hands. So I kind of dare him here. Good boy. A little bit out of frame, so push his hip up underneath him, soften him up. So he's not being bad here. Now watch, I'm gonna change. Very rarely will I do what I just did then, where I'll change and then go straight into the other circle. But I gotta check that I can do it, because when I go show him, watch, I'm gonna come across the middle, and then I've got to be able to do a circle to the left in a pattern. So he's a little bit late on some of these changes here, to where when I put my leg on and kiss, he's almost like he's a stride late. That wasn't too bad. Well, I don't know, there's something about raising that inside hand up like that and driving them to their face with that outside leg, my right leg now. It just really bridles them up and gets them soft. That time he kind of came up out of it. So pitch him away. I didn't like that. He kind of came up out of that bridle. That was really good. So that left to right change then, his neck, what do I mean by coming out of the way? His neck didn't change. That was really good. A little bit slow there. That's his little greenness coming out right there. So you notice that I literally go all over the arena. He has no idea where I'm about to go. So if they start anticipating, you know, changing leads and going the opposite way, obviously I'll change it up. Okay, so if I change leads like there to the right and he goes left, I'm going to steer him right. I just try to do the opposite of what I think the horse is expecting me to do. Okay? Now when I say he changes a little late, there's a little bit of a dead spot there when I put my leg on to cue the lead change, just like I've done on the 2-year-olds. He takes another stride before he reacts. That was pretty good. So what do I do about that? Just kind of practice, just to be honest with you. That's, as long as he changes, I just keep practicing, really. That, you don't get after him. You don't scare him. That's what I'm saying. He needs another 2 months of me just fiddle-farting around like this until he's broke the way I want. So now I might go back to guiding him a little bit all over the arena. Okay? He has no idea where I'm about to go. No idea when I'm going to change leads. So go in a straight line now. Love that. So I'm not going to say that I won't do some counter-cantering like I did as a 2-year-old, where he's looking to the inside like he is here. I certainly will. But as a good rule of thumb, I do more counter-cantering with their shape the opposite way. Now right there, when I changed leads, he kind of sped up a little bit. So I just drew him into the ground and rolled him back. Okay, I don't want him getting fast. That was the boy. That time he didn't speed up. So there shouldn't be any break of cadence. And I'm also got to make sure breaking cadence in his gait, meaning that he shouldn't be loping at this speed, and then when I change, he speeds up a hell of a lot, or even at all, really. That's what I'm ideally looking for. And then pitch him away. There, a little late there. So I'll deliberately go out of my way to change him when he's out of position too, okay? Because when I show him, I'm not going to be able to help him as much through some of the circles and what I'm doing. I'm just going to guide him. Perfect example, like right there. He was looking to the left. Let's see what he does here. See there how I had to help him a little bit more? Look, make him look to the inside. So because I didn't set him up, he was a little late. Perfect example right there, late again. So when I show him, I've actually got to show him in a couple more weeks. So because he's a little greener here than what I'd like to see, I'm going to have to come across the center, pick him up, and then change. I'm gonna help him in the show pen a little bit. Maybe not quite that obvious, but look. I'm going to come around in my circle, pick up. There, that's how much I help him there. Because he's not, and as a 3-year-old, in his defense, that's asking a lot of those young horses to just completely, you know, go from one arc to the other arc. I'm going to drive him up into his face with my outside leg. I've got that spur on his belly, driving him, kicking a little bit with that left leg. So how do I get him over this? Just more time, more practice. Go straight now. Whoa. Every once in a while, I'll throw in a roll back. See how he handles it. Whoa. Good boy. Whoa. The light just there. Drive him up into his face. Bridle him up. Whoa. Good boy. I loved how I just looked over my shoulder and he just followed my feel. Whoa. And turn him loose. He's thinking about stopping, I keep going. I'm gonna make sure he'll gallop soft in my hand. Come through the middle, change leads. He can't just change while he's going slow. He's got to do it faster too. Come through the middle, change leads. Now I might have to do a small slow. Pick him up. Whoa. Whoa. Too soft. Good boy, Pluto. So he's doing pretty good for a 3-year-old. Another couple of months, he'll be a pro. Whoa. Good boy. So, you know, I don't know how many leads I changed just then. I suppose we could go back and count it, but that would be a typical session right there. Just change, 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 change until he's like, this is easy. I do this every day, I'm asleep. You know, see how relaxed he is? Walk him off, head down, quiet. You know, that's what it takes to get him super, super broke. Good boy. So what I'm looking for is on a perfectly loose rein, they could go from this arc in a circle, put my leg on, kiss, to that arc, in one stride without me ever touching their face. That would be the ultimate goal in the show pen, is that you don't have to pick up on the reins and help the horse at all. Now, you're not penalized in reining if you pick up on the reins and help them, okay? But, you know, we're always looking for the ultimate. So if he'll go around and have this arc and then press, kiss, he changes to this arc, you know, obviously highly exaggerated there, by himself, without me helping him, that's going to get you a little extra points, because you just, you know, when I say points, just favor with the judge, because, you know, judges are relatively educated, most of them, so they know how hard that is. But when you got to pick them up and you got to move their shoulder over here and then put your leg on and get the change, well, they know your horse is a little green. You know, they know he's not quite as trained as you want him to be, okay? They're not going to necessarily penalize you for that, assuming that you're not jerking on the horse's mouth and the horse is not pulling on the bit and acting horrible, okay? But here, put my leg back, press, change. Good boy, Pluto. Well, mate, I hope you've enjoyed the Leads and Lead Changes series. You know, changing leads can be a really easy thing to do with the right preparation. With the wrong preparation, it can be a very frustrating thing for you and your horse, and confusing. It can get ugly, and it's a disaster very, very quickly, okay? Foundation really comes out when it comes to doing a flying lead change. The better foundation you've got, the better chance you've got of changing leads. Are there horses out there that are naturally gifted at changing leads and can do it very easily? Absolutely. Just like there's horses that are gifted at sliding to a stop better than other horses that can stop. Are there horses out there that just, you can teach them to change leads, but man, you have to work at it a lot because they're just kind of not very talented at it? The answer is yes. Those type of horses are out there. But I find that the more soft and supple you get the horse, the better collected you get the horse, the more preparation you do, the majority of horses that are non-gaited. Now, everything I've said does not really apply to gaited horses. They are not designed to be good movers as far as lope. They've designed to gait, but not lope and not change leads. Can you get a gaited horse to change leads? Absolutely. So, you know, some lady's going to send me a nasty email, my gaited horse changes leads. I didn't say they can't. I'm just saying that, you know, you don't take a Lamborghini four-wheeling. You know, you don't take a Lamborghini off the paved road and try to run it up a mountain, because it's not designed to do that. Gaited horses are designed to go on a trail in a straight line, and they're designed to gait. They're not designed to do a flying lead change every other stride. So I think I've tried my very best to show you horses at different levels of the training. We haven't hidden any mistakes that they've made. We've showed you everything. We've virtually cut out nothing out of the camera work. So if the horse made a mistake, rest assured it's in there. And we've tried to show you a step-by-step plan of how you can get success, okay? All I've got to do to get Pluto better is just more practice, more practice. If I had him for another 2 more months and I could just keep tinkering with him, I think I'd have him exactly where I want him. He's still a little bit green just yet, but not bad at all. Nothing that is his fault. He just needs a little more trainer and he'll be in good shape. So, mate, listen, I hope you've enjoyed the series. I've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. And remember, get control of the 5 body parts and you'll be well on your way to having a great flying lead change.
Princess, the 2009 mare by Custom Chrome out of Princess in Diamonds. Clinton Anderson wrapping it up there with Hail of a Princess, the McGee Farms LLC entry, draw 82, back number 401. Score is a 221 for Hail of a Princess and Clinton Anderson.